This is 7 News.
Tonight, the hunt for two thugs who bashed an 88-year-old grandfather on his morning walk.
Plans to set up a tent embassy in Perth after that Kings Park protest.
Why the cost of health insurance is about to soar for millions of Australians.
And a new rival for Holden and Ford in the V8s.
From the studios of 7 Perth, Susannah Carr and Ardon.
Good evening. We start in Bunbury, where two thugs have bashed an 88-year-old grandfather on his morning walk. The elderly man was hit over the head with what's believed to have been a cricket bat and knocked unconscious. Grant Taylor reports.
And crime reporter Grant Taylor joins us from Bunbury. Grant, do police know who they're looking for?
Well, Sue, not at this stage. There were no witnesses to the attack and it was obviously very early. And as you heard before, the description John has given of his attackers is very general. Police are tonight urging anyone who can help to pick up the phone and to call Crime Stoppers.
Grant, and how is the 88-year-old victim tonight?
Well, so the good news is that John is out of hospital. He's now back at home being cared for by his family. Now, they've told me that he's still very sore, obviously, but is in surprisingly good spirits. He's still waiting to hear if he'll need surgery on his jaw. Rick?
Thanks, Grant. A young Perth man being sued over a boat crash has admitted he was extremely drunk when it happened. Luke Woolard, the son of Perth MP Janet Woolard, is being sued by a passenger who was injured in the crash.
Protesters who abused Premier Colin Barnett yesterday say they will set up an Aboriginal tent embassy in Perth to further their case. Today, the Premier said he wasn't offended by the racial slurs hurled at him by demonstrators. Jeff Parry reports.
2 million Australians face a hike in the cost of private health insurance. Federal Parliament is expected to pass changes which will add $500 a year for singles and up to $1,000 for families.
And there are more signs tonight of the tensions within the Gillard government. Secret documents reveal the Prime Minister has pushed Kevin Rudd down the cabinet table, moving him away from the centre of power. The papers, obtained exclusively by 7 News, contradict the Prime Minister's claim that tension between her and the Foreign Minister is an invention of the media.
Every Airbus A380 in the world is to undergo inspections for possible wing cracks. That's 68 planes all up, including 12 operated by Qantas, which first discovered the problem.
These cracks were found some time ago, and we've been wondering why it's taken 2 months for the regulator to come out and say that a full inspection and repairs have to be carried out.
Airbus will pick up the bill, which includes the massive cost of taking the aircraft out of service. Experts say the cracks aren't immediately dangerous, but shouldn't be neglected.
Just in case you didn't know, it's now 44 days until the first bounce of the 2012 AFL Premiership season. It's one of the biggest years in the history of the game, with the introduction of an 18th team. And the 7 Network has got in early, unveiling its commentary dream team.
Baz and Mick, that'll be good. Still to come, Star Eagles and their kids.
How a teammate's tragedy brings out their softer side.
You realise the hurt of maybe losing one of them, what it would be like.
And rough justice in a Javanese courtroom.
In 7's Money Watch, the Australian share market closed slightly lower today. Although the ASX 200 was down nearly 8 points at the close, the market recovered well from the day's lows in the wake of a jump in China's inflation. Losses were led by the materials sector, more specifically market heavyweight BHP, which fell another 1.6% after yesterday's earnings report disappointed investors. Telstra shed 7 cents to $3.37 after it booked a half-year profit of $1.47 billion, below market expectations. $1 Australian is buying 68 British pence.
3 armed intruders have stormed into a Redcliffe home and held a shotgun to the heads of 2 teenage boys. 4 women, including a 72-year-old, were also home at the time.
What were they yelling?
Give us your money and don't move or I'll shoot.
The gunman stole $45 and ran from the house.
Time has taken its toll on the battalions who defended Darwin during World War II. There aren't many of those old soldiers left, but those who are around and fit enough to make the journey will travel back to Darwin next week to mark the 70th anniversary of the Japanese raids.
The Duchess of Cambridge has stepped out on her first public outing without Prince William, who's flying a helicopter in the Falklands. Dressed in grey tweed, Kate was greeted by a small crowd of fans when she visited the National Portrait Gallery in London.
She always looks pretty on camera and in real life as well.
I hope she does well.
A royal spokesman has confirmed Kate is in talks to sit for her own official portrait.
A Javanese man has been arrested for dumping 3 bags of poisonous snakes, including cobras, in a court. Mohammed Amin had lost some land in a court case, and this was his payback. Terrified court staff ran from the building as the snakes spread through the complex.
A teammate's tragedy has brought out the softer side of the West Coast Eagles. They'll come together this weekend for a charity beach run to raise funds for families who've lost children. Brian Daniels has more. Sport now with Adrian Barrett and the Dockers. Pull a surprise, Barra.
Yes, Rick, a special honour for a fiery Freo favourite. That's next, plus Steve Hooker's Demons. The Olympic champion puts his gold medal defence in jeopardy. And the V8 supercars go back to the future.
Hello, Natalia Cooper with you. Another very hot one today, and there's the risk of a storm tonight, but mainly in the northern and eastern suburbs. The heat is hanging around tomorrow. Currently, it's very warm, 35.5, and humidity sitting at 25%. The barometer 1,010.8, and it's steady, and winds are from the east-southeast at 6 kilometres an hour. The temperature hit 36.6 today, and it was warm overnight, a minimum of just under 20 degrees. Tonight it should be a little bit warmer than that. Around the metro area, lots of hot spots today. 37 at Fremantle, Lancelin and Gin, 36 degrees for Bullsbrook. Around WA, there were some decent falls in the central west, Gascoyne and Wheatbelt last night, 36 millimetres at Wandana. Isolated showers and storms are expected in the Gascoyne and western parts of the Southwest Land Division this evening. Tomorrow, a storm risk for Albany. A hot 37 degrees in Geraldton and Bunbury, heading for a top of 34. On the satellite, there's a trough lying near the west coast, and that's what's triggering that stormy activity. It's also the reason why we've had such a hot day. Now that trough is set to move just inland tomorrow afternoon. Interstate tomorrow, heavy rain and thunderstorms expected in Canberra. A possible storm in Sydney as well, and a shower or two for Melbourne. On our waters tomorrow, west to southwest winds 8 to 13 knots. Inshore winds will tend east-nor'east 5 to 10 knots until around noon. Seas to 0.5 metre and swell to 1.5 metres. So the risk of a storm this evening, mainly in the northern and eastern suburbs, as I said. Hot again and mostly sunny tomorrow, a top of 37. Tonight it should get down to 22 degrees. Then morning cloud, a bit humid, and 32 on Saturday, partly cloudy and 29 on Sunday, and the chance of a shower on Monday. After that, it's looking fine with temperatures around 30 degrees. And it was a popular day to get married 60 years ago. Congratulations to Margaret and Bill Gunn, June and Bill Marr, John and Maria Martino, and to Faye and Max Tillett. That's all from me. Here's Powerball.
That's 7 News for this warm Thursday. Thanks for your company.
And now here's Monica with Today Tonight.